them up, and I will fix it.
Hey, Bo.
Good. Well, just to recap the last game, players really played hard and competed well in this last game. The effort was really good, the toughness that we played with, the competitive spirit that we had in the game to overcome adversity, all things that I was very, very encouraged by and very pleased with and very proud of. The execution, play in, play out fundamentally, not what we want it to be, not what it needs to be, and certainly this leads to a lack of consistency, whether you're playing offense, defense, or special teams. And the fact of the matter is we didn't make as many errors as they made in the game, which was probably the difference in the game, whether they were special teams or whatever you might want to call it. So I think the major goal for us is focus on the importance of improvement between the first and second game. Always something that I think every team has a great opportunity to maybe improve as much as any time all year long during that time. Players of the week, I think you got that information. Some injury updates. Christian Miller and Terrell Lewis will be out for the year. Both of them have season-ending surgeries coming up. Rashawn Evans and Anthony Jennings both have, I would call them, significant injuries that won't be long-term, and we would just list them as questionable. So they'll be day-to-day, but uncertain as to when they'll be able to come back and play. We're hopeful that it'll be sooner than later. We're looking forward to coming back and playing at home. It's a great opportunity for our players. I know how much they love playing in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Our fans are always very supportive. The passion, energy, and enthusiasm is, something that's special in college football, and we always look forward to that. On another note, Mike Loxley, wide receiver and assistant offensive coordinator, family tragedy, his son was killed, and I just want everybody to understand that our thoughts and prayers go out to Mike, his Kia, and the entire Loxley family over this tragedy, and we'll do everything that we can to support Mike and his family in this time of tragedy. Fresno State, Jeff Tedford is one of the best coaches, I think, offensively in the country, and was the head coach at Cal for many, many years, won lots of games, went to lots of bowl games, and Fresno returns lots of starters, 9 on offense, 6 on defense, a couple specialists. So this is a much, much improved team. They played really, really well and looked really good in their opening game, where they scored 66 points and shut the other team out. Got a good quarterback. They got a couple good receivers. Got some good players on defense. So this is going to be a different kind of challenge for us, and something that our players have to respond to, because this is a much, much improved team.
Okay, Coach, we'll start up here with Mark.
Just with losing 2 of your outside linebackers, what does that mean for guys like Dylan Moses and some of the other younger guys? How much are you going to push them in these next coming weeks?
Well, it means what it means. I mean, when we lose 2 guys, the next 2 guys have to step up. It creates opportunities for other people in the program. We're going to have to take some of the younger guys that we have and try to develop them, more quickly. We hate it that we lost these players. They're both good players. They both made significant improvement. They both played well in the game. But this is an opportunity for somebody else to step up and be able to play at a high level as well. We're going to work very hard as a coaching staff to help those guys get in a position to do that.
This side middle with Michael.
During the offseason, one of the talk was about Jalen Hurts getting better in the pocket, throwing the ball, and maybe not taking off as early.
think there were times where he did a good job. He stepped up and made some really good throws, and there were other times where I think he instinctively maybe took off, a little sooner than we'd like. But we're going to review those things with him on the film. In fact, we already have, and hopefully we'll just get him to trust and believe in doing the things that he needs to do to technically execute the plays. Although I thought his overall performance for the first game was pretty good. I thought some of the issues in the passing game were not quarterback related totally. He had some protection issues that were mental errors, not necessarily physical errors, that created some negative plays. And when I talk about overall execution, that's one of the areas that I would be speaking of.
Come back over here to Chandler.
Along those pass protection lines, what did you think of the play of Matt Womack and Jonah Williams, and how would you sort of assess both of their performances?
Well, I think both guys did some very good things. I think overall our entire offensive line needs to be a little more physical. We need to finish blocks a little better. A lot of little things that we could do better that I think we want to emphasize with all the players, and so that's going to be the emphasis. But it's not just the offensive line. I think it's every position on our team.
Come back here in the middle with Taryn.
Hi, Coach. Last week you said that Bryant Denny is your favorite stadium, but what are some of the things behind the scenes that maybe the average fan doesn't see that make it so different?
Look, it's because everybody's for you. That's what makes it different. I love having the support of our fans. I love the tradition films that we show before the games. I love the passion, the energy, and enthusiasm. I know how much our players enjoy it, respect it, work so hard to try to play to a standard that people can be proud of. I don't really know what you mean behind the scenes. It's just great to be home. I got my chair at home. I got my little locker room at home. All those things are not different like when you go on the road.
Come back here on the right. Charlie.
How have you seen Ben Davis progress, and can he see maybe an increased role with the injuries you guys have at linebacker?
Well, we'll see. He's one of the guys that is a young player that has the opportunity to maybe show what he can do. This is a relatively new position for him. So we're going to have lots of competition at that position, and we'll sort of see who develops and who can help us the most.
Back with Cecil.
Coach, having watched Jalen on film now from the first game, could you give us a little more evaluation on how you thought he performed and what you're looking for this week at quarterback?
Well, I think, look, it's first game, and I'm not here to protect the player. I think he would tell you that there's things that he could do better. I also think there was good plays that he made that we need to build on. I do think that there's definitely some things that we could do better as coaches to help the players, and the players could do better to technically execute what they need to do so that we can make more explosive plays. We had several opportunities to make explosive plays, and whether they were breakdown in protection or aborting the play too quickly, we weren't able to make those plays. And when you do that, you leave a lot of money on the table. So I don't think that by field position and opportunities that we had in this game, we could ever walk away saying we're satisfied with the points that we scored. The guy that distributes the ball is the quarterback, so we're all responsible for that, but we just need to do a better job of executing overall as an offensive team. I've said this many times before, if the players around you are not doing a good job, quarterback's a tough position to play. So we all need to improve, and that's what our focus is going to be on this week.
In front here with Dwayne.
Coach, special teams with the field goal with Andy, how do you think he did? I know he went 3 for 5, but overall, how do you feel like he did?
Well, I think, you know, we don't ever expect anybody to miss a field goal, but, you know, Andy's accuracy, you know, inside of 40 yards is very, very good. He made all those. A couple longer ones he didn't make. I think that he's capable of even being more consistent than maybe what he was in that particular game, but we don't want to miss any. But we're also going to be very supportive in terms of and confident that if he hits the ball well, he can make all those field goals.
We'll go here in the middle with Alex.
I want to ask you about Levi Wallace. He's a guy that's, you know, earned his way to where he's at now. Obviously, from a walk-on, he got a scholarship last season. But how have you seen him kind of develop, and just what do you think about him stepping in the way he did in that game?
Well, there's been competition at that position between those two guys, he and Trayvon, you know, for quite some time. I think Levi at this point, because he's been in the system and he's been in the program for a long time, understands the system, understands and can make the adaptations. I think he was a little more comfortable in the game, being a big game, first game, all that. I think Trayvon was a little nervous, a little anxious, made a couple mistakes early. But I think it's important that both those guys can play well for us, and that's going to be our goal. But I thought Levi did a really good job in the game.
Two more, Coach. We'll start here with the CW.
What do you think of Damian Harris' performance on Saturday, and how important is it for you guys to have a well-rounded running back like that who can do it all?
Well, Damian played really well in the game, not only as a running back, not only when he had the ball, he played really well without the ball, and he played really well in special teams. Made a big play on special teams in blocking the punt, but was effective in other things that he did on special teams as well. So I was very encouraged and pleased with what he was able to do, and when he's been healthy, he's been a very good player for us. I think that it's important for us to get other players at that position who can play at that level as well, and that's certainly going to be our goal. Josh Jacobs may start practicing a little bit this week. Still can't tell you whether they're going to be ready to play in this game or not.
We'll wrap up in the back with Joe.
Hey, Coach, obviously no one expects 4 linebackers getting hurt in one game, but during fall camp, how much are you keeping an eye on guys who look like they may have positional versatility and just making mental notes for potential contingency plans in case of injury?
Well, I think you always do that as a coach, but I also think that you have to be careful that you're not robbing Peter to pay Paul when you start moving guys around. You've got a tremendous amount of reps invested in a guy at a certain position, and you move him to another position, and then you don't have the same reps at that position, and now you've created, you know, maybe 2 issues for yourself. I do think that there are guys on our team that have position diversity that could move and play other positions, but I think we didn't just lose outside backers, we lost an inside backer too. So now to move one of those guys would make us, and that's where those guys are. You know, Matt could play outside linebacker, I think. You know, Holcomb could play outside linebacker. But if we move them now, then now we've created another issue for us at another position. So, you know, we have some young players that we think can develop. Obviously, they don't have the experience, but we played young players here before, and we won a national championship with Minka and Ronnie Harrison playing when they were freshmen the whole time in the secondary. So we feel like some of these guys can make a contribution, and we need to develop confidence, and so they have a good understanding of what's expected of them to do when the game comes.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.